Imagine, if you will, Apple has an app that takes the songs and the ideas in your head and puts them into a phone like magic. Hey there, friends on YouTube. My name is Jason. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. If you've been here before, thank you so much. You know, I'm a little excited. I'm on my third cup of coffee. Yeah. Today, I want to talk to you about Apple's forgotten, fantastic songwriting app. As a creative person, I'm always looking for ways that the tech I carry with me can help me capture and create the stuff that comes into my head. If you haven't noticed, I'm a little older, and it used to be that if you didn't get to a piece of paper and write down your idea and then remember what you wrote down, if you needed it to sound like something, then you were really in trouble. If you had a melody in your head that was, unless you were going to sit there and write it out in notation, then you had to be like a memory genius. As a songwriter, I've got dozens, if not hundreds, of notebooks in storage all over the place here in my house from the days before smartphones. And ever since smartphones came around, I moved all my gibberish and ideas over to notes apps like Evernote and Apple Notes and Google Docs and places like that, which makes it even less organized maybe. When it came to musical ideas, chord progressions, that kind of thing, you were SOL. I mean, you could write the chords down on your piece of paper. You could take a tape recorder or something like that. But that didn't always work well. It wasn't always easy to go back and find that stuff. Now, every once in a while, I sit around maybe watching a baseball game, football game. I have a guitar and I'll just sort of be playing around, and lo and behold, a bunch of ideas will start to pop into my head. Little riffs here, little guitar chords there, blah, blah, blah. And back in those old days, I had to go find my notebook. I had to write the stuff down. I had to then try and remember what it was. And it was really not all that easy. It wasn't very convenient. There's so many lost and forgotten ideas over the years. But in 2016, Apple came out with an iOS app that changed the songwriter's life forever. At the time, I was amazed. Basically, the Music Memos app is the same as the Voice Memos app on iOS, but instead of just taking your random thoughts and recording them into a voice memo, you got to sit there and the Music Memo app, you could play a chord, you could sing a melody, you could do whatever you want, and it would actually transpose all of that stuff into chords and notes for you. Not only does it record the audio, it transcribes the chord progression that you're using or the melody that you've got going as you go. It even has a feature where a software drummer and bass player will start to play along with you to help you flesh out the idea, I guess. I've never found that to work very well, but the core functionality is the capture and transcription of the idea. My whole life, up until this app was released in 2016, I would write out lyrics in a notebook, I would block out the chord changes and that kind of thing. But unless I was capturing it all onto tape, or if my memory was really particularly good that day, especially the melodic ideas would leave my memory and go off into some place where I may never recapture them again. Here's how you use the Music Memo app. So you find it on your phone, you open it up. First thing you'll see is a little dot in the center. That little dot is your record button, although it doesn't really look like a record button. It could be more clear, but it's not. And then say you're playing your idea or you're singing your idea or whatever, you hit that record button, and you start to play, and you start to sing, and you start to do whatever it is that you do. And as you notice, it puts the chords or individual notes down there for you to remember. And then you can actually play along with this thing in the future. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, I have a whole recording setup, just like I do here, where I could record the thing better and it would sound good and I would be ready to go. And that might be true, but I can say from my own experience that out of the dozens of ideas I've jotted down in Logic or other recording programs, I've used very few of them. It's really hard to find your way back to the folder, the day, the time, the blah, 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 where you started that whole project, as opposed to Music Memos, where it just has a list of all the ideas you've come up with right inside the app. And all you do is tap and it starts to play the idea. If you're not a music person, if you're not a songwriter, then you may not have any need for this, and that's just fine. For those of us who do work with music, who do love music, who do want to make music part of our lives, the Music Memo app has turned into something that it's a time capsule. I have Music Memo notes going all the way back to 2016, most of which I don't remember ever recording. But now, if I find myself wanting to sit down and start working on an idea, I can just sort of browse through those things. Something will grab me and I can start to work right away. That's incredibly valuable when you want to create something, when you want to start working on some music and your creative juices are just maybe not flowing. Getting back to those ideas and being able to hear what your brain thought of before is an amazing, amazing leg up as a creator. Once you're done with the idea, you can actually open it up in GarageBand and it'll give you like broken out the drums and the bass part as well, but you don't have to use those, as I said before. So you can start working on it right away. You can chop it into loops, turn it into a song, add stuff to it, all of that right from this Music Memos app. I usually bring the music memos that I come up with into a song that I'm going to use. I'll use that as the basis for the beginning of the actual recording, and I'll use it as notes to refer back to when I'm working in Logic Audio. All the music memos are saved in iCloud, and so you can go back to your iOS device, you can go to your computer, you can go to iCloud. Wherever you access iCloud, you can find your music memos and you can listen to them or you can download them. You could share them with people. It is an incredible tool, and I just can't believe that this is not something that's discussed more when we talk about the features and versatility that iOS offers. To me, there's nothing else out there that is more a useful tool for songwriters and musicians than the Music Memo app. I guess I started thinking about it when I saw the transcription program for the Voice Memo app in the new Pixel 4, and I thought, wow, you know, Apple's been transcribing my music for several years now. So it's just a very interesting, very useful tool. And maybe you don't know about it because Apple seems to never talk about it. Do you use the Music Memos app? Are you a songwriter? Are you interested in this? Why did you watch this? I'm not sure, but I use it all the time. And I'm really interested in hearing how you use it. And if you do use it, and maybe if you've ever heard of it before, let me know down in the comments below and we'll have a boisterous discussion. Once again, my name is Jason, and this has been Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I am out.